We're really thrilled to be here today. And today you'll learn more about what we will be doing, but we're going to get started with our keynote event today, which is a presentation on communities of practice by Gladys Basha. Now let me introduce Gladys to you. Gladys is a graduate teacher from Instituto Superior Joaquín B. González and licenciada en Educación by the Universidad de Quilmes. She specialized in methodology at Joaquín B. González and at Universidad de Quilmes as well. And she has also specialized in ICT for education at Flaxo and UTN, right? She's currently teaching English as a foreign language at high school, leading the online team at Liceo Cultural Británico, and lecturing in methodology at Instituto Superior del Profesorado Joaquín B. González. So now over to you, Gladys. Thank you very much. Gladys is an APIBA member, long-standing APIBA. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise today.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Well, that was embarrassing. Okay. Thanks, APIBA, first of all, for inviting me to be here today. I'm a bit concerned because it's hard to imagine the kind of audience I'm facing. I know there are many people here who know lots of things. Many of them have told me lots of things directly. But I thought we could have a good time sharing ideas on what communities of practice are. Now, the first moment I sat down to think about it, we had to choose a title for the presentation. This is not. Yes. No. Sorry. Okay. Now, yeah. I was saying I had to choose a name for the presentation, and so I thought of, should I join a cop? But then I started thinking about it, and I was afraid many people would come here looking for advice on whether to marry a policeman. So that was not the idea, and in a way, looking for a way to connect you with the topic we are talking about, I thought of this quote, which we are paraphrasing. Can you recognize it? Who was the speaker who said something like that? Abraham Lincoln, 1863. He wasn't talking about development, but this presentation will start with some revision of history. We have some evidence that he was really thinking of development of professionals, in particular English teachers. And, hello? Yes. And when we talk of communities of practice, we are talking precisely of that, development of people, by the people and for the people. So let's see how it works. What is a community of practice? Well, two keywords, community and practice, right? What do you think of when you hear a community? Group of people, okay. Now, not a bunch of people, but a group of people with a common goal, working together and sharing something. What about practice? If you think of practice, action, you said? Okay. And if they are English teachers, in particular, what are they doing? Teaching and learning, great. Okay, so let's go over this definition. Communities of practice are formed by people, good. But not just people together, but people who engage in a process of collective learning in a shared domain of human endeavor. That could be anything. Many classes are communities of practice, and there are different kinds, and we'll look at their characteristics in a minute. Probably you belong to many. Some are formal and have a big name, and some are practically invisible. Let's look at the final quote. which says, in a nutshell, communities of practice are groups of people who share a concern or a passion for something. Do you? What for? Teaching and learning. I don't know if we should call it a passion or an obsession, but let's keep it there. For something they do and learn how to do it better as they interact regularly. Right? So let's look at some elements that every community of practice has. Communities of practice may interact face-to-face or through social media, right? Now, this is a message that a member of a community of practice posted as their first message. We have highlighted some key elements, which would be voluntary membership, negotiated goals, a core member, community of practice generated resource, a boundary member, and reflection on practice. So, who can identify voluntary membership in the message? There we go. Who can identify negotiated goals?
There are many of us keep engaging our lessons.
I'm sorry. No. Well, we have a core member first, sorry. Can you find the core member? So I joined encouraged by this member, you see? How many of you were encouraged by someone else to be here? 1, 2, okay. So who were the core members for you?
Viviana. Yes, Viviana.
Paola. Who else? Paula? Eugenia. Is she here today?
Yes.
Aha. Okay, and over there they say Vivian. Okay. As we get older, we become core members for newcomers, okay? So, core members, and our next one is negotiated goals. That is what they were. He says, perhaps we can try something similar for teaching other skills. Okay, we've been discussing this, let's try. And this is what happens at 6 meetings, right? We've been doing this, last year we went into that, somebody has reported this problem in their practice, so how about researching on this, studying this together? Okay, so goals are negotiated. Where is the generated resource? Everybody knows what a wiki is, but virtually it would be a depository or a way in which we collect ideas. In the old days, this would have meant meeting face to face and bringing notes that everybody had taken, as simple as that, and then sharing notes. Could be something techy or not. Boundary member. Sebastian, and it's time for you to decide if you're boundary APIBA members or core members. It's not a 100% decision. And finally, a key element would be reflection on practice. And this is perhaps what makes the difference between the casual talk in the corridor with colleagues we have nearly every day and a development environment. Communities of practice have other names. People recognize them as learning networks, thematic groups, tech clubs. And then we'll see if SIGs would be another name for us, okay? They all have a domain. In our case, it would be English language teaching, right? A community, here we are, plus all the other people who are joining us in different ways, and a practice. But they come in different sizes. They usually have a core group and some peripheral members, and in the case of SIGs, you can see this clearly because some people may be always there, meeting regularly, plus keeping in touch between face-to-face meetings, perhaps, whereas other members are coming and going. They may join in some moments or for some topic in particular. They can be local, or they can cover the globe. Sometimes they may combine, and a SIG here could be working in collaboration with a SIG somewhere else, or another kind of institution. They may meet exclusively, or mainly face-to-face. How many of you have been members of groups that got together just face-to-face? No, not even a WhatsApp group for that group? There was something. Yes, these days it's hard to accept that we just communicate if we can meet. At least to negotiate a time or to make sure that the meeting is taking place, we do have some kind of communication in other ways. But they may communicate mostly or exclusively online. They could be within an organization, or they could include members from various organizations, especially when they meet just online, because they tend to be international. And they might be formally recognized, even supported with a budget, lucky group. Or they may be completely informal and perhaps even invisible. Perhaps the English department in a school is organized as a community practice. Perhaps the people teaching the same area at a certain teachers training college have formed a community practice, and they share resources and they meet, perhaps in a way which has just grown out of practice. They haven't planned to form this community, but they have regular meetings. Perhaps they get together for other reasons or without excuses, and then they start discussing problems and sharing resources and organizing research. So, what do people do in COPs? Share. Sorry? They share knowledge. They learn. How do they learn? By doing what? Cooperating, sorry, sharing. Sharing what? Questions, problems, reflecting. They also share answers, because when someone shares a question or a problem, someone may share answers. There are many, many options, but typically authors have listed the following. Problem solving. These days in secondary school we are seeing this. Have you noticed this in the school too? Yeah, what can we do about it? Let's start researching. Is it happening in other countries? And then we start collecting information. We may request for information, contact other associations, perhaps email an author. They seek experience. Reusing assets. These words, well, let's try it again. We share. Coordination and strategy. We form a team and we work like this, and so we analyze the data we collected. This is the kind of thing you cannot do by yourself. Building an argument. If we want to defend a certain way of teaching or a certain idea, we want to promote a certain practice, well, what can be better than a group of professionals that get together to create a voice that can be taken then individually when you go to school to defend this or to wherever you're teaching. So you promote an idea by saying, it's not me standing here, it's a group of professionals who have researched this. Growing confidence, quite important, isn't it? Discussing development. Documenting projects. One of the hardest parts of our profession for me, if I had to do it by myself, I would never get to documenting everything. I don't know if it's a common concern. But if you have to do your part for someone else, well, then the group is counting on this, and so you may collect the data, someone may do the analysis. You can also share your skills, and so one is good at collecting the data, and another one is good at creating a way to analyze it, another one knows how to publish it. And it doesn't take so long and so much effort like that. They organize visits. We could organize one, but I think we should go to some English-speaking country as part of our project. They map knowledge and they identify gaps. And the list could go on and on. Basically, what they do is they carry out collaborative tasks in which they one participant has a goal that he would like to achieve, and the other participants engage in talk that helps these first participants achieve that goal, right? So we've been talking for years about promoting collaborative tasks in our teaching, and this kind of organization allows us to integrate collaborative tasks into our professional development. See how they go hand in hand? How we start teaching and developing coherently? Now, there are online COPs and there are local COPs, right? Are they the same? Let's see. On the left you have local COPs, and on the right, online COPs. The ones who are based on a specific place usually emerge from existing groups like APIBA. We were here and someone said, why don't we who share an interest in drama get together at a certain time to discuss this in particular? What about the ones which are online? They are usually designed, who can guess? It's two words, they are opposites. Good for Paula, top down. Okay, we should say her team gets a point. Okay. Someone decides to start an online community of practice and so launches a site, a group, some way in which the other people can join, okay? In local COPs, membership is usually restricted. In our case, we are talking about APIBA members and we're inviting other people, well, there are English teachers, and then we're inviting other people with different requirements. The ones which are online, membership is usually good. Still, this team keeps the lead, I must tell you. Leaders may emerge from the community, and that's how we will choose the SIG coordinators. Online, leaders are frequently recruited. If you want to start a serious community practice online, you will need to hire someone who will keep doing this, right? And perhaps a team that promotes this. Local communities, communication is mainly face-to-face. Online communication is primarily computer. There we are, computer mediated. They can develop in a short time, local communities. The other ones take to develop. And finally, whereas in the first ones, technological support is an option, in the second ones, right. That's why, whenever possible, communities still prefer to have some option which is local. Because we feel that if technology fails, we'll still have a chance to get together, right? If I had suggested I could teach this, I could deliver this from home, you probably all have been, me too, concerned that technology might have failed us and there will be no presentation at all. Still, the option we have now to be, how we find streaming, yes, is enabling some people to be with us, although they couldn't make it. So, technology for us is an asset that empowers our community, right? In our case, we would be talking about a blended community that takes the best from both options. Time to see if you're with me. Do you have your phones? Fabricio? No. I don't know if you have a connection to the internet which you can afford to play the game. I need to open the link.
Need to access the Wi-Fi account. There is one that says Wi-Fi gym.
I wanted to ask if that's available for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the password is, pay attention, I say everything again and I repeat, accesos Y. A, the accesos in capital letters, U-A-I in capital letters. Accesos Y. A con mayúscula, U-A-I con mayúscula. Accesos a con mayúscula, Y, la tres letras con mayúscula. Accesos Y. We have to access that code over there. Then you click on next.
I have to get in, so you'll have to wait for me to be there. This was automatic on my computer, and there I am. No, I think I'm in.
No, it can't. It doesn't take a password.
Accesos Y.
It doesn't accept it.
But that's the password. Some other people have been accessed it before.
That's the same thing. It says correct password.
We are now checking the code is still that one. Should be that one. Oh, I opened yours. There. Need to join. Let's see.
I need to exit.
You cannot minimize it. Okay. Now, yes, we have a new code. There. We are ready. Yes, this is the code.
Hold on a minute.
You can't see it. I can't see it.
Change this.
You all know how to play Kahoot, right? You go there, you're all on it, go. Okay. Yes. Now you need the code, but wait, the game pin.
Give me a second because this is.
That music. Yes. Actually, you know, if you want to use it as a teacher to create the code, you need to go to Kahoot.it to create your own games. There we are. That's the game pin. 653816. That's the pin you need to enter.
Yes.
65.
Give me a second.
8316, I think. There. There, Fabrice is typing the password so you can share the Wi-Fi access.
Oh, I see. The access starts with upper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say. Capital letter A.
A and Y. Okay, choose your nickname.
It says see your nickname screen.
Yeah, we have to, Mauricio, can we go to the Kahoot screen? Sorry, they need to, there we are. History level, who's that? Nidia, Carmen playing with him. Okay, are you all there now? Yes, have we got everyone? The list goes on here. I'm walking. Can you all see your name here? We have 20 players. The gentlemen are still trying to get in, I think. We'll wait for a second. Think about everything you know about community practice right now. I'll be asking you some questions on facts and myths. Let's see if they are true or false ideas about community practice. 19, we've lost someone. Oh. No, they were 9, they were 20, and now they are 19. No, sorry. More. We have very strange names here. Very cheap. No, they're still 19. Okay, are we playing? Shall we play? Okay, so off we go. You can try and guess. Okay. Great, steady, go. 8 questions. Communities of practice are always self-organizing. True or false? True or false? Enter your answer. Okay, 5 people got it right. And the rest? 9 answers. And the rest? Oh, chicken. You only have 10 seconds to answer. It's like this. Instinct. Okay, shall we try our luck with the second one? Now you know how to play? Good.
Let me know because I have to play.
Okay, thank you. That doesn't work. Andrea is our winner. Where is Andrea? Let's see if you can keep the lead. Come on, number 2. There are no leaders in a true community practice. True or false? The timer says 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, enter. 9 and 9, we are really 50-50. And Andrea again. Oh, 3. Communities of practice are informal. She's very quick, that's why I can see she answers immediately. She gets extra points for that. 1. Well, we're getting better at it. Okay, 14 people, and Andrea keeps winning. Who is history lover? Who is history lover? There, we've got the second point. Okay, let's say, let's go on there. The role of a community of practice is to share existing knowledge. The role of a community of practice is to share existing knowledge. 3 options. One says partially true this time. The majority is right. Let's see. There's a beating, Andrea, but Gabi has come second. Who's Gabi? Ooh, we have chances. Let's go on. It's not possible to measure the impact of community of practice. Most people have said it's false. It's not easy because usually the members of the community of practice interact in many other communities, but there are ways to track this. Okay. And Andrea, oh, look at the difference. But Gabi keeps second. Yeah. Good facilitation is all it takes to get members to participate. Yeah, an essential element together with good facilitation is members who are committed. A community practice is as successful as its members, not just the facilitator, okay? So on we go. Ooh. 7, communities of practice are harmonious places. True, false, maybe? Maybe. They should be more harmonious than other environments because in a good community of practice there are more chances for everyone to express themselves and to be heard and listened to. But they don't need, and they are not always harmonious. The last one, this decides There's a technology that is best for communities of practice. The last one, some people have already pressed the key and sealed their destiny. There is a technology that is best. It's for, well, it was practically 50-50, and if there is a technology, it hasn't been discovered yet. Forums can help a lot, but each community has its characteristics and its needs, and therefore different technologies that work better for them. That's why some SIGs may decide to hold exclusively face-to-face meetings, some communities may work just online, others may have different kinds of meetings, so different blending of the different frequencies and different tools for communication, from a WhatsApp group to a forum to a wiki, whatever. So it depends on the characteristics of the members, on the research they are doing, the activity they are carrying out. Okay, so the final score was Andrea, of course, first place. The second one was Lau. Who's Lau? Where are you? Good for you! A dark horse, we can see you coming. And who's Paul? Paul? That's you! Not Paul, it's Paula. Okay, great. Congratulations. Okay, so we go back to the presentation. There, the next one. So now that we have all agreed on what we understand by community practice, not just a group of people. The question is, okay, what can they give us? What can they give me so that I get up early on a Saturday morning to go forward? This representation tries to organize two kinds of learning. The lateral or technical development, which you can see as a horizontal arrow on the green circle, shows what we have traditionally understand as learning for professional development. Is expanding your skills. In our case, it would be knowledge of English, for example, or the course of the subject matter, without involving self-development or deeper development at the personal level. It's just traditional learning, right? Now, although that seemed to be the goal of education many years ago, now we can see that lateral learning or technical development doesn't really reach its full potential, let's say. It's not really what it should be unless it works together with vertical development or transformative learning, which involves self-awareness. When? And many of you are teacher trainers and you know the difference between training someone and helping them develop. We all know, but you have experience and seen this in your own students. So when we integrate what we are studying into who we are, and this helps us develop, we are talking of transformative learning, which transforms the learner and also the environments in which this learner interacts. And this is what communities of practice can give us, which is different from what you could learn just by reading a book on your own or Googling about something. It's true that you get information on any topic you are concerned about, but a community of practice will give you this possibility to generate an environment for reflective development, right? And as you learn about something, you are really growing at different levels. So that's what communities of practice offer us. And as they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. Yes, you'll do it faster. I wanted to know about this, I found it. But if you want to go far, go together. And that's why communities of practice like APIBA 6 may take you much, much further than learning on your own. By now, I think you can all answer the question, are APIBA 6 communities of practice? I looked at their webpage and read they are grupos de estudio creados por APIBA, remember, an organization that created it top-down, con el fin de proveer un foro de estudio democrático y abierto. Negotiated goals, members that work together, alrededor de un área de conocimiento común, our domain, a todos los miembros de dicho grupo. Los SIGs están abiertos a miembros de APIBA o de cualquier asociación de profesores de inglés, federada en FAPI, profesores graduados, estudiantes de profesorado de inglés y toda persona interesada en las áreas de estudio de cada SIG. But we meet all the requirements. That's great. We do have lots of communities of practice, and in a few minutes, there will be a presentation on a new SIG, a mini presentation, I think, and then we'll get the chance to learn about the options we have, and perhaps you could make suggestions from you. But before I finish this, I need to share with you another revolutionary discovery about history. We started with Abraham Lincoln, who was actually starting the topic of communities of practice in his Gettysburg address. Now, you all know this man, practically 100 years later than Lincoln's speech, and you probably remember the quote, but it seems it was not properly taken down, because what he actually said was, as not what your COP or SIG can do for you, as what you can do for your community of practice. Thank you very much for having joined me today. Thank you, APIBA.
Thank you, Gladys, for a wonderful presentation and appropriate for getting us off in our SIGs. Just perfect. Thank you so much. And now, just a brief minute, I want to introduce Valeria Blue, a colleague from our profession, who's going to announce, a new activity that we're going to start soon.
Thank you very much, Paula. Good morning to everyone. As she said, my name is Valeria Blue, and I'm here today to introduce APIBA's drama workshop, which will be held from May to November every other Saturday in the morning from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sorry. Okay, there they've got the information. So, languages were conceived for us to communicate, to relate to each other. But do we really foster meaningful communication and active participation in our classrooms? Do we sometimes reconcile what schools demand and what students need? Sometimes we teachers feel pressed by the curriculum, by the authorities of the schools for which we work. We have to teach grammar, vocabulary, we have to train our students for standardized testing, and we don't have much time, or we do not devote much time for making them have fun and enjoy what they do. So here I am to offer this possibility. There is a possibility to include drama strategies and drama games to make students involved, engaged, to make them stand on their feet and start participating in imagined worlds. This will be an experiential workshop, so I hope that all those who would like to join it participate actively, collaborate, as Gladys was saying, and in a way use the language spontaneously. We're going to have many opportunities for all these things to happen, and I would love to have you all there. Drama is a very powerful tool, not only because it brings up students on their feet, but because it makes them imagine, be creative, be present, cooperate, collaborate. It is multisensory. It also appeals to multiple intelligences. It's for all kinds of students, for different levels. of English. Even the shy ones or the ones who don't know much English can profit from body language and gesture. And it makes them confident, and it makes them really proud of their achievements and of having an opportunity to participate and be seen. Well, so I invite all of you, and I would be very grateful if you join the APIBA workshop. Thank you.
Okay, wait, over to Fabricio now for a moment.
Just a very moment. Is everyone familiar with what SIGs are? Do you know what SIGs are? I know some of you do because you are participating. Is there a need?
Do you all know what SIGs are? No? Good. Fantastic. We've got one person. So we're going to watch a short video. Let's see if it starts. Yeah. And we'll explain what they are. Thank you. So as you can see, we have 10 SIGs this year. A new baby has been born today, research SIG, and there are some people who would like to coordinate. Who are you? Where are you? The possible candidates to coordinate the research SIG?
Maybe.
Okay, so that you know, yes, who they are. After the break, we're going to introduce their last year coordinators so that you can then follow and join the SIGs that you want. Okay, and I do believe that this is what we're going to do now before we go to the break. Some of the coordinators from last year are not present. Some of them are in England after IATFO's conference. Some were not able to attend today, but I want to mention all of them. The Business English SIG, Virginia Lopez-Grisolía and Daniela Galindo coordinated them last year. EdTech, Mariela Godoy, Claudia, please, if you are present, do come here, because you deserve an applause afterwards for all the hard work you've done. Yeah. History and Culture, Viviana Vargas, Eugenia Gatti. Are you present? Language and Phonology, Romina is in Ushuaia now. Yes, having a good actually trip. And Belén is not present here. Literature, Silvia Severino and Susana Guevara. Linguistic and Phonology, Juan Miguel Correa and Camila Abad. Yes, you are here at least. Methodology, Video and Association. And India Sherman, who said so there. But she doesn't want to be on the spot. But she can. You don't deserve that, India. And Mindfulness, Karina Neira, who's also in England at this moment, and Orali was not able to make it today. And from Young Learners, Florencia Ciapone and Rosalio Lepena. Okay, so you do deserve a huge round of applause and recognition for all the hard work that you've done until 2018. Let's see if you're re-elected or not. That's up to you if you want to. Okay? Thank you very much. Okay? And also a huge thank you, yes, for Romina. Romina's not here, as I told you before. She is in Ushuaia having a jolly good trip. But after 10 years of being the liaison officer with me, I've been here for 4 or 5 years already. But she's been doing this job of coordinating the different SIGs coordinators, and now it's time to retire. So she will continue most probably being a language and phonology coordinator, but no longer a liaison officer. And this year, to welcome Analia, this was going to coordinate the SIGs. So for those of you who are coordinating, we'll be working with us together. Okay? So, hello, there we are, and coffee break, everyone. You're welcome on the other patio, yes, to enjoy some coffee and some delicious food. Thank you very much. We'll meet at in 15 minutes time, okay? 15:30 more or less, all right? Thank you.